Everybody, welcome back. And in today's video, I'll be talking to you guys about the things that I wish someone told me before starting medical school. And it's hopefully an advice that you guys could use as a pre-med, or even if you're a current medical student. This is still advice that I think would help you along the way. It's easy to think that med school is very difficult because you won't have a social life. You're going to be getting so much info and there's really no time for you but to study. And some of it is true. Obviously, you are going to be studying a lot, but hopefully after watching this video, you'll realize that it's important to balance your life. So these are 10 different tips that I wish someone told me before starting medical school. And number one is you need to believe in yourself. And I think that it's easy for you to forget that you made it, that you're now a medical student, and you should be proud of yourself for those achievements. So number one is you are worthy, and you should be proud of yourself. Number two is everyone is smart, but so are you. I think that it's true that a lot of students who do get into medical school were amongst the top of their class in undergrad, and they obviously work very hard to get into the position where they're in now as medical students, but you're also amongst those people. And remind yourself that you are also, again, going back to number one, worthy of that privilege of being a medical student. And you are also very smart because you are amongst those students in your class. And number three is, as difficult as med school is, this too shall pass. That medical school gets a bad rap in terms of stealing kind of your social life, your 20s. You hear it all over the internet that there's people who maybe feel guilty about even going to medical schools because they gave up so much. But try to remind yourself that you're the one that chose this field, but in the end, it's up to you to enjoy it. And yeah, it's gonna pass, but it's up to you to decide whether it's a grueling process, a miserable process, or if it's something that you enjoyed because you got something out of it. And then number four is learn to focus on yourself first. And I think it's really important given now the kind of the search. Obviously, there's a lot of virtual classes, and it's easy to just be fixated on studying lectures because there's really nothing else you can do outside of that. But hopefully that will change for you guys starting med school next year. But focus on yourself first. That means focusing on your mental health, physical health, on your family also. But first comes you. So taking care of your mental health and physical health before anything else, and making sure you get enough sleep is a really vitally important, so that those study sessions are productive. Five is it will be hard, but it doesn't have to be miserable. Kind of going back to other points that I made before, is it's up to you to decide if this journey is going to be something that you enjoy, or it's something that you just completely regret making. And it's not going to be fun. It might be fun, but there's going to be moments where, yeah, they are going to suck. Yeah, you wish you were not in med school, but try to remember the good times more than the bad times. And that's going to ultimately make your experience worth it instead of making it feel like it's miserable. And then number six is do what works. This is really important for a lot of you guys, is do what works for you, but not what works for others. I think it's peer pressure is ultimately what's could sabotage your studies, is trying to do it all because everybody's doing it. But ultimately, you got to find something that works for you and stick with it. If it's Anki, if it's multiple choice questions, if it's just reading, if it's going to lecture, whatever it is, just do it. Doesn't matter what people say it works. It works for them. It doesn't matter what science tells you. If you're not going to do those things, then it's not going to work for you. Point blank. That's a simple truth. And then Number seven is be proud of yourself more often. I think that's important because there's going to be moments where you're not going to be proud of yourself. There's going to be moments where you studied so much in medical school, you're not going to get the grade that you wanted. And it's so easy to hate yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm X, Y, and Z, I'm blah, blah, blah. But during those times, you should tell yourself, it's okay. I'm still proud of myself for passing, even if you barely passed. And even if you failed, I'm proud of myself for trying, and I'm going to get back up and try it again. So be proud of yourself more often. I think it's going to be something that you're going to need during med school. And number 8 is find gratitude even when it is hard. And I think that's important. It kind of goes back to the mentality of being grateful for the fact that you're in medical school. And yeah, you're going to have hard times, but also reminding yourself that you chose this career. No one else chose this but you. And it's up to you to decide how you're going to look at your current journey is When you're studying, are you going to say, oh man, I hate studying, or why am I even studying, or why do I have to study so much? Or are you going to say, instead of saying I have to study, are you going to say I get to study because I chose this, because I love this, all those things. So just finding gratitude even when it becomes hard, I think it's something that's super important that you can use throughout your journey. And number 9 is failure does not define you. And it's something that I'm guilty of. I feel sometimes, even before, I just recently learned this, even during residency, is that I would look at failure as something that was almost like it became an identity that some you could wear the more times you fail. But I think it's important to recognize that everybody fails, and it's just the person who achieves something great and something amazing is the person that fails more often but grows from it. So that's what you need to do in med school, is not necessarily fail often, but take those experiences of maybe not passing a class, or maybe not doing as well, or maybe anything. It doesn't have to be failing class, really. It could be anything in life, and taking those opportunities as a feedback to be able to become better next time. And number 10, this is also very important, and I think it's one of the more important tips, is to recognize that the position you're in is a privilege. Becoming a healthcare provider is a privilege. Ultimately, there's going to be patients counting on you, and it's up to you to make them feel better. And you're going to recognize that obviously you can't do it all. You can't save lives. There's going to be times where you won't be able to save a life. But recognizing that it's a privilege nonetheless, regardless of how difficult things seem right now, things will get better. So that's the advice I want to give you guys, and I hope that you guys had an amazing first couple of days of 2021. And if you guys like the content that I'm putting out, please follow me here on YouTube or on Instagram at Evan Arias MD. And I'll check back on you guys tomorrow. I'm going to try to do my best to post daily videos. And if there's any specific topic that you guys want me to talk about, or any video ideas, please let me know in the comment below. I'll check you guys later.